Good day and welcome to another book review. It's early morning and we are doing a book review. I'm going to give you a quick, maybe 1 to 2 minute background. This would be probably one of the most important book reviews that I'm going to do. Um, I don't think I will say it about every book, but I have a problem, and in the business niche, you usually tend to seek problems and solve those problems that there are. You don't necessarily go out and look for problems, but you try to find the problems and then, yeah, just work on those. And the problem that I have now is focus. So I tend to lose focus. I have a lot to do, and a lot of people are like that almost in every niche, where if they can be focused in one thing um, and accomplish and complete that, that will be great. So nevertheless, our book review we are doing today is Deep Work by Cal Newport. Okay, so usually I do share about 2 minutes intro, which is personal, and then we go straight into the book. So I asked ChatGPT, now this was last night in bed. I thought I had the book Deep Work next to me on the bedside table, but then because it looks similar, and this will probably be the next book that we are going to review, is Atomic Habits by James Clear. So they almost look similar, and it was quite late. It was about 11 o'clock. Um, and that's one thing I would like to change is my sleeping pattern. I also watched another video of Emmy last night, and which she talked about sleeping patterns. So, oh, and then coincidentally, not really coincidentally, nothing is by accident, but I printed this, or I came upon this drawing yesterday, and I printed it. It's about the deep work philosophies. So that's just for myself. And then I asked Chat this morning, I have a problem. I'm easily distracted. I need to work on my focus. Which book will help the best with that? I have Atomic Habits and Deep Work in front of me. Which one should I read first? And his answer was, based on what I know about you, I'd read Deep Work first. Here's why. You've already built many good habits. You train regularly. Okay. You've lost 30 kgs. You're consistent with creating content that's all true. You're building multiple businesses and communities, and that's where the deep work I think would like to come in and focus is with building multiple businesses and communities. Your biggest constraint doesn't seem to be forming habits. It's that you're trying to juggle too many important things at once. Very true. So with all the companies, basically, yeah, the two companies he mentions here, and obviously with YouTube School, AI Family, Reading, Faith, doesn't put exercise in it as well, but yeah, we played a match of action cricket last night. That was really, really fun. Then okay, and that's a classic environment where attention, not motivation, becomes the bottleneck. Deep Work teaches you how to. Okay, it's Deep Work by Cal Newport. Eliminate distractions, work in long uninterrupted blocks, produce more high value work in less time. Protect your attention as your most valuable asset. Okay, so that's quite, I'm just going to take off my glasses. That's quite interesting. That's something I thought of this morning as well. So time isn't your most valuable thing that you have. It is, sorry, money isn't the most valuable thing that you have. Did I say time? Okay, money isn't the most valuable thing that you have or can offer to someone. It's your time. And here they say protect your attention as your most valuable asset. It's quite good. Once you've developed the ability to focus deeply, Atomic Habits by James Clear becomes even more powerful because it helps you make those focus routines automatic. If I were you, if I were coaching you, I'd follow this order: deep work, learn to focus. Okay, so that's what we're going to do now. And then Atomic Habits, turn that focus into daily systems. That's good. One thought specifically for you: don't read deep work quickly. Read one chapter, then spend a week applying it before moving to the next. It's a book that's most valuable when practiced, not finished. Interesting. I also have one challenge for you. For the next 30 days, try scheduling one 90-minute distraction-free work block every morning. No phone, no email, no WhatsApp, no YouTube, just one important task. If you can consistently protect that block, it will likely have a bigger impact than reading another 5 productivity books. Wow, that is massive. Okay, so we will basically go on chapter 1, then I'm going to follow this. Chapter 1, and how many chapters does this book have? So then we're going to do one chapter a week, and I would like to post this video once a week. Let's do part 1. It's chapter 1, but let's do part 1 because here are 3 chapters basically. So with part 1, they are the idea. It's a chapter 1, 2, and 3, and then part 2, it's the rules. Rule 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, let's go with part 1, and then yeah, I'll do part 2 in the next video. Okay, so we're starting with the introduction. This might be the only passage that I'm going to quote directly from the book. So deep work, what is the definition of deep work? In the introduction, professional activities performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that push your cognitive capabilities to their limit. These efforts create new value, improve your skill, and are hard to replicate. Okay, so what that basically means is this definition is quite dense, but it's one of the most important ideas in the entire book. Let's unpack it line by line. So professional activities performed in a state of distraction-free concentration. This means doing your most important work with complete focus. Not checking WhatsApp every few minutes, answering emails, switching between YouTube, ChatGPT, and spreadsheets. Just one task, one mind, one goal. For me personally, this could be spending 90 minutes writing a YouTube script or building gym network without looking at my phone once, which I probably won't do. That's just, yeah, that push your cognitive capabilities to their limit. I would say this for me would actually be 90 minutes focusing on clearing my physical space and also my mental space. And that's a video that I made, I think last week. So that's also on YouTube. And the follow-up video of that is This Is It. So where I stand and I look up and soaking the sun. So the video before that was, I think it might have been Focus. I think the video might have been Focus. Okay, and that, yeah, so the next line is that push your cognitive capabilities to their limit. Cognitive capability simply means your brain's ability to think, solve problems, and create and learn. Deep work isn't easy. It's the kind of work where your brain feels tired because you're thinking so hard. Designing a new business strategy. Okay, so it's the kind of work where your brain feels tired because you're thinking so hard. Okay, so like designing a new business strategy, solving a difficult problem, writing a great book review, and learning AI automation. So for me, the biggest challenge was the tech side of things. I had another meeting yesterday, and I also spoke to my wife about this. In the meeting, my one of the mentors, he mentioned that you get three different types of people in business. You have the entrepreneur, the visionary, you have the manager who can operate and is good in operations, and then you have the guy who executes the job or task, so the tech guy. So I'm quite well with the entrepreneurship and the visionary. I'm okay with managing roles. I could improve, but I'm the best in being an entrepreneur. And then I'm not tech savvy at all. So I think like entrepreneurial wise, like 80%, and then managing wise, 15%, tech wise, and executing 5%. So that's way off numbers. It should be around again. So if it feels mentally demanding, you're probably doing deep work. These efforts create new value. Deep work produces something valuable that didn't exist before. For example, a YouTube video, a business system, marketing campaign, a new product, a solved business problem. So the entrepreneurship side. Scrolling social media doesn't create value. Building something does. Improve your skill. Every time you work deeply, your brain becomes better at that skill. Think of it like going to the gym. Heavy lifting, it builds muscles. Deep thinking builds your mind. That's why someone who spends years doing focused work becomes exceptionally good at what they do. And that's also, I can relate here. Last year, I recognized I had a little bit of memory loss. I couldn't remember people's names so accurately. So I had to start to practice my brain. I had to like build puzzles, or I think, yeah, the one thing that I started with is diary, journaling. So that helped quite a lot. And there were other things that I also did to just practice my brain and my memory. That was quite interesting, and it improved. It really did improve. Tried hard not to actually. So I had a diary, but I also had to try and not put everything on a calendar and a reminder. I had to try and remind it for myself. Okay, so, and this is a person's name. I had to repeat it 3 times to myself and made it um, like relatable with something, and are hard to replicate. This is perhaps the most important part. Almost anyone can answer emails, attend meetings, scroll LinkedIn, and post random content. Very few people can sit down for two uninterrupted hours and produce something excellent. That's why deep work becomes a competitive advantage. For me, in this case, 2 hours of proper time with the Lord, that would be amazing. Focus, deep work, deep focus on with the Lord and focusing on Him. That would be awesome. So in simple English, deep work is doing difficult, valuable work with complete focus for long enough that you create something meaningful while becoming smarter and more skilled. Okay, so applying it to your life, instead of saying today I'm going to work for 10 hours, try saying today I'm going to complete one 90-minute deep work session on my highest priority task. So I don't have my diary now with me, so I can't give you an example. But I think one of those major priority tasks would most likely be, again, clearing my space, because that will align everything and uh, that will create a structure. If I cleared my space, I will know, okay, this is what I actually need to do, and then prioritize it. What is the most important thing? And then focus on that. I know a lot of people also say, do your easy tasks, and that takes the littlest of time to that first, and then work towards that thing that takes the longest. Um, let's finalize this. Given everything that, okay, so that's the next, distraction-free concentration. You don't lack ambition or work ethic. You already work. This is just Chat's reply to me. So he said, given everything I know about you, I think the sentence from the definition is the one to remember. Distraction-free concentration. This one is quite good. So you don't lack ambition or work ethic. You already work incredibly hard. The opportunity is to make more of those hours deep rather than fragmented. If you can consistently protect your attention, you likely accomplish more in fewer hours than you do now. Okay, quite interesting. Um, let's get into the quick part one summary, which will basically take about 5 minutes max. So the idea of this video, it's being said at 13 minutes, it's not to, like, this is a book review, but it's not to give you everything that's in the book. It's about giving my opinion, personal experience, and then also um, the best value in a very short um, space and time. So it's not to replace the book. The focus would be on you watching this video and making a decision, should you read this book or not. I think it would be great for everyone to read. And like I said at the beginning of this video, it would be great to read one chapter at a time and then try to practice that for a week. So here's the quick part one summary, and try not to give away any spoilers. But it's not like a storybook. It's a deep workbook. Let's go. So the idea is about convincing you why deep work matters before teaching you how to do it. Part one. Chapter one, deep work is valuable. In today's economy, the people who succeed are those who can learn difficult things quickly and produce high quality work. Deep work is a skill that makes both possible. The ability to focus is becoming one of the most valuable competitive advantages. The key takeaway here in chapter one is that your ability to focus determines your ability to create value. Okay, I'm just going to reiterate part one and the idea about it. So the idea is about convincing you why deep work matters before teaching you how to do it. Okay. And this is what we're going to do in this book review as well. So you will basically have to go out, buy the book, or if you have it already, invest the time in it in order for it to work properly. Chapter two, deep work is rare. Modern life is designed to distract us. Emails, meetings, social media, and constant notifications. Many workplaces reward being busy rather than being productive. As a result, true deep work has become rare. So they pay you per hour, pay you per rate. So if I get, let's say, $100 per hour, I would like to work 12 hours a day. I won't work 4 hours a day because I'm being paid per hour. But if I'm being paid per task at hand, if someone tells me, paint that wall, I'm paying you $500 if that wall is painted. I will try to do it the best way possible and the fastest way possible, because nevertheless, the time I spend on it is going to be painted, or it's going to be the same price that they pay me. And then I would want to do it the best in my ability, because I just have the work ethic, and it's just good business to do anything that you do and that you put a price on it, the best in your ability. Even if it's cheap, you'll actually have to do it, because even if you start out, I met a guy yesterday, he's a GHL expert, and his rate is $10 an hour. Okay, so I know his location maybe is the reason why his rates are that low. But that's insanely low. It's incredibly low, like $10 an hour. Um, and he's helping you to set up your GHL and managing your GHL, basically. So that's incredibly low rates. But even if I have that low rates, I would like to put in all the effort in order to improve and to build I would almost like to say reputation out there, so that your advertising, it becomes word of mouth. And your best advertiser almost always is word of mouth with the business. Okay. I'm not sure if I read chapter 2, deep work is rare, and then the key takeaways, because deep work is rare, those who master it stand out. Chapter 3, deep work is meaningful. Working deeply isn't just productive, it is also fulfilling. Giving your full attention to meaningful work brings a sense of purpose, mastery, and satisfaction that shallow, distracted work cannot. Okay. Key takeaway here is a focused life is often a more meaningful life. Part 1 in one sentence. The ability to work with intense focus is one of the most valuable, rare, and meaningful skills you can develop. For someone building, again, our chat just give his personal opinion about me. Since this is a book review that I'm doing, it's fine. For someone building businesses like you, one practical question to ask every morning is, what is the one task today that deserves my deepest attention? And I think Alex Emoji also states that. What is the one task that creates the most value? Okay, so if you work 8 hours a day, you will have to spend those 8 hours in focusing on the things that makes you the most money, basically. Okay, so that the other 12 hours, other 16 hours of the day, you won't have to focus on work at all. You can spend the time with your family, on yourself, via exercise, rest, and so forth. So yeah, eight deep. It's between 6 and 8 hours, deep hours, if you can afford it. A lot of people have to work 12 hours, especially when you are new in the business and you have to start up. You have to put in the extra hours. Like Alex Emoji also said, he worked like 18 plus hours a day. It was once when he opened up his first gym, I think. He had to do everything himself. Um, so the cleaning, the managing, the books, and everything he did himself. The client acquisition, everything. And there was one evening where he was cleaning, and then he fell asleep against the wall. He was leaning against the wall with a mop in his hands. That's quite intense. Another thing, I follow Alex Omoji quite, not intensely, but regularly now. Another thing he mentioned was that he had a new, like I think a creative designer, so almost like an ops manager, and they had an important task at hand, and they had an online meeting, and they shared their screen, and they asked, okay, what's the meeting or the agenda of the meeting? He said, there's one important thing, and they worked 8 hours on that thing nonstop. Again, when that was finished, he said most people will say, okay, I deserve my shower now, right? Okay, 8 hours of deep work, we finished a massive operational task, and I deserve my shower and my rest. And Alex told him, or asked him, okay, so what's next? And he said immediately you can see his perception of work has shifted. So it's like, well, okay, so we have this other big thing that we also need to do. It's like, okay, bring it up, let's do it. Stood up, grab a bottle of water, onto the next. That's quite intense. Now, I don't say everyone should do that because most of these guys, they work like 2 weeks nonstop and then they take 2 weeks off, basically. So I would ideally like to have a more prioritized lifestyle, work Monday to Friday and Monday to Thursday from 8 in the morning until 5 in the evening, and then Fridays 8 to 4, and that's the working hours, deep working hours. That's ideally. The rest of the time you spend with your family, you rest, you take care of yourself. Okay, protecting time for the task is where the principles of deep work begin to make a real difference. Thank you so much for watching. This is part 1 of the Deep Work book review.